Okay, so I've got my caps here. These are a little different from the original caps, and that's fine. I have not trimmed the edges for the ground yet, but I have, as you know, done it for the hot wires. Grab my crimper. And let's see how that turned out. Seems to be in there pretty tight. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim off the edges here for my ground that are going to go to the relay. And at that point, we are 90% done for the relay. So I am popping that one off. And popping this one off. And popping this one off. Sometime here in the near future, I'm going to be working on a project to clean up a lot of the messy wires under here. I've got to take a look at my access control, which is a mess. It was working just fine, and now it's a mess. So, go figure. All right, that's in place. And, yep, that one's tight. Let's try this next one here. That one's tight. And the last ground for the relays. I know you guys are thinking how exciting this really is. You're thinking, wow, could this be much more exciting? And the answer is yes. All right, so that one's good. Now I will do it for the switches. One. That's two. And three. And of course, as usual, it's 400 degrees here in the greater Arizona area. All right. Clip's done. I'm trying to be methodical about this so I don't run into the same problems that I ran into when I did this the first time. And there we go. Okay. So now that we've got this done, now I can connect these to the relays. So we have ground to one side and the signal wire to the other. So let me get all this straightened up and I'll show you what I do. Okay, so we got this figured out. So the ground is going to go to the right side of 30, which is 85. And I am putting these back in the same sequence. So I'm going to avoid any problems. Make sure I get these all the way on. And the same thing for that additional one that's got the 5 wire. My understanding is, if I'm looking at it right, it doesn't matter. It can hook up the same way. We'll find out when we test it. So now I can take this and we can connect this back up in here and then run the wires okay, from each one of these terminals to the switches, which are up here. Okay, but for now, I'm just gonna tuck this out of the way. And we've got all the ones for the switches here. When I say all the ones, we have the ground and the positive. All we need is the load wires, which are the ones that make those connections. So the next thing we're gonna do is set up the switches, and then we'll run the switches. Okay, so I have marked off where I want my holes for my switches. I just hope that I did it right. We'll find out. Yeah, so we will find out very quickly. Completed the switches. I've drilled them and placed them here, and I've already made the connections. It was pretty simple, so I'll just kind of show you how that was done. So here's how the connections were made. You saw all the lines are made, the black, the yellow, and the red. So that's kind of where we're at. On this one, the ground is the white. This is the original switch that was here. I didn't make a lot of changes here to that. So, and the brown here is equivalent to this yellow that you have on the rest of them. And then of course the red is the red. So that's how those were configured. And then I simply place these back up in here. So this is now back up in here. And all you have to do is power, all lights on, and start. And that's how it works. So we have completely reconnected those.